Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today is Monday, May 4th, and I want to quickly go over your assignment for today before going into what we're doing. So it says, Good morning, mathematicians. Today we are starting a brand new unit. It's topic 13, and it's all about measurement. We're going to be exploring two essential questions. The first one is, how can we convert from one unit of measure to another? And then we're also going to be exploring how we can be precise when solving math problems involving measurement. So here's what you're going to do today. You are going to either watch this video, which you're doing now, or you can join us on Zoom at 9 a.m. I do the same thing in both the video as I do on Zoom. And we're just going to really introduce the concepts of topic 13, talk about measurement, talk about all the vocabulary involved. I did send your parents an email with our guided notes that we're going to be using starting tomorrow. So if you have those guided notes, if you can print them out, that will be extremely helpful to you. There's also some cheat sheets that I've attached below and some posters that you can print out. So I'm just going to show you them. And just so you know, all of these things that are at like the links that I add to our daily assignments, they're not usually in the right order. So you really have to see what you're supposed to do first, and then you have to find it down below on the links. All right, so here's a conversion chart that's in color. I really like this chart. I printed it out for myself, and it's just really helpful. Okay, let's see how, okay. So you can see this. What I like about this one is that it gives you the reminder large to small multiply, small to large divide. And that's something that we kind of have to remember and memorize. We're going to be talking about customary units of measurement this week. And then next week, we're going to be talking about metric units of measurement. And on that second page, there's a fun acronym, a way to remember metric measurement conversions. It's King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So this is just a really nice thing to have handy if you can print it out. If you can't print it out, no worries, it's fine. Then there's another one here, and this is one that I sent your parents. So I said, if you have nothing, if you can't print anything else out, at least try to print this one out. It's kind of like a cheat sheet for this topic. You are always allowed to use this on all of our work throughout the entire unit. I'm even going to let you use it on the test. We're going to have the test in about 3 weeks. So it's going to take a while to do this topic. Probably towards, right before Memorial Day, we'll be done with it. Measurement is complicated. All right, finally, I included some measurement posters, and that's what I want to start off our video with. Now, if you have a color printer at home and your parents have a lot of ink in their printer, they may allow you to print this out. It's definitely not necessary. It's a very long document. But if you're like me and you like to decorate your room and put posters up, you may want to print at least some of these out maybe. So I'm going to go through this because it's really helpful in measurement to think of actual objects. So we're going to be talking about customary measurement versus metric measurement. And the first thing I want to just tell you guys really quick is, here in the United States, we use customary measurement. Everywhere else pretty much in the world uses metric. Why haven't we converted to metric? Well, we Americans are stuck in our ways, I suppose, and we just haven't done it. And it doesn't seem like it's going to take place anytime soon. So we have a harder job. Kids in America have to understand both. We have to do customary and metric. All right, so linear measurement is using a ruler basically. And we can use linear measurement in units of inches. And if you think of a small paper clip, from the tip to the other tip, right, the length of it is about an inch. You can also, I like to think of like my thumb is about an inch long. If everybody looks at their thumb right now, it's about an inch, maybe a little bit bigger than an inch. Then you have a foot, and a foot is the length of a ruler. And there are 12 inches in 1 foot. And that's something you really should memorize, at least. At the least, you should know that there are 12 inches in a foot. and that's about length of a ruler. Then we have a yard, and a yard is 3 rulers put end to end. You can also think of it as the width of a door. So, like from the handle all the way to the other side of that door, the width of it. And then we have the mile. And a mile is like what you would drive in a car. Like, how many miles is it to the grocery store? Or how many miles to your friend's house? Or how many miles does Mrs. Atkinson live from your house? And a mile, you can think of it, it's the length of 15 football fields put end to end. So that's quite a bit. A mile is quite a bit. But you probably, you guys could run a mile. If you were going to run a mile, it might take you like between 8 and 10 minutes. It might take me like 15 minutes. No, hopefully not. All right. So here are some conversions. And again, you don't have to memorize them, but it could be helpful in your life. The other thing is you can always look it up. So 1 foot is 12 inches, 1 yard is 3 feet, and 1 mile is 1,760 yards, or if you want to talk about it in terms of feet, it's 5,280 feet. All right. Then we have the metric system, and this is what they use in most other places in the world. A millimeter is about the thickness of a credit card, or like a gift card if you have something like that. It's very thin, like really, really thin, right? If you hold a credit card, it's like you're holding a piece of paper almost, right? That is 1 millimeter. So a millimeter is really, really tiny. Then we have a centimeter, and the centimeter is like the width of a paper clip. So you see how I'm pointing here. Let's say if I can use my pen here. It's from there to there is like the width of a paper clip. Is 1 centimeter. So if I had all of these as centimeters, how many centimeters are all 4 of these? Be 4 centimeters, right? Okay, let's keep going. All right, so a meter is about the width of a door, right? So a meter is very similar to a yard. That's why in school we have meter sticks and yardsticks, and they're almost identical. Like one's just a little bit bigger than the other. Okay. We have also the largest unit of linear measure in the metric system is the kilometer. Kilometer. Its abbreviation is km, and it's the length of 10 football fields. So very similar to customary measurement, just a little bit off. We're just talking estimates here. All right, so 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters or 100 centimeters, and then 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So you can see how I really think the metric system has it much easier to think about and remember because it's base 10 system, which is much easier than those customary measures. All right, then we have some conversion charts. Sometimes you have to convert customary to metric, metric to customary, but we don't do that in 4th grade. All right, now let's talk about weight. So we talked already about linear measure. Now we're going to talk about weight, how heavy something is, right? How many pounds were you when you were born? Probably between 5 and 8 pounds, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. So we have the ounce, the abbreviation is OZ. This is the weight of a slice of bread. So imagine holding a slice of dry bread in your hand. That's an ounce. An ounce is very little. It's really not much, right? That's an ounce. And a pound is kind of like the weight of a canned vegetable. If you want to kind of take a can of corn or peas out of your pantry and just hold that in your hand to get a sense of what a pound feels like. And then we have a ton. I love tons. A lot of animal. If it's a big animal, it might be measured in tons. Something very, very heavy like your car, an elephant, the weight of a walrus would be tons. So we have 1 pound is 16 ounces. So picture that, that can of corn might hold 16 ounces in it. And 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. And again, these might be something might want to memorize if you could. All right. Now in metric, we measure weight based on grams. So about the weight of a paperclip. If you held a paperclip in your hand, very, very light, right? It hardly feels like anything. That's 1 gram. Kilogram in the metric system is about the weight of a textbook, and like a hard textbook. I'm trying to think. We don't really have any hard textbooks. Our workbook is not. I don't think that would weigh about a kilogram. Maybe about a kilogram, but one of those big heavy textbooks. And so 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So if you had 1,000 paper clips, it might be as heavy as a textbook. All right, now let's talk capacity. So capacity is the amount of space an object takes up, or it could be like the amount of liquid that something can hold, right? Like volume. So a fluid ounce is the capacity of like a nail polish bottle, right? That's fluid ounces. And FLOZ, fluid ounces, is the abbreviation there. Customary measurement with cups. I'm sure you've seen a measuring cup if you've ever made anything. I really encourage you guys, if your mom will let you make brownies or bake a cake or something, it would help you guys really understand measurement in recipes and measuring by cups in particular. All right, then we have the pint. If you think of like a water bottle that you would drink out of, like a regular water bottle, that's about a pint. And then you have a quart, which is like if you have one of those, milk sometimes comes in quarts, orange juice comes in quarts. It's like one of those taller, thin ones. And then we have gallons. And I know we go through a lot of milk. My kids love drinking milk. We buy at least 4 or 5 gallons of milk per week. And so we're a big milk drinking family, but that's a gallon of milk is usually how people get their milk. So that's a good thing to kind of hold in your mind. All right. This is my favorite memory aid. This is the land of Galan. Really, it's Gallon, but I like to be fancy. In the land of Galan, there lived 4 queens, and you could see the Qs or the queens. Each queen had a prince and a princess, right? So a P and a P, prince and princess. And each prince and princess had 2 children. So CC stands for children. Another way that my other way it sticks with kids usually even more. So inside the G, okay, you have those Qs, right? 4 Qs. And don't those Qs kind of look like toilet bowls? I kind of feel like they do. And then in the toilet bowl, there's a little pee pee, right? A little pee pee in that toilet bowl. That's how I remember that. Um, I don't know. It's just a way to remember. Some people also say in the G there are 4 queens, and each queen has 2 princesses, and each princess has 2 royal cats. Okay, so there's lots of memory aids, but if you can remember this land of Galan and this big super G, you'll never forget the conversions for capacity. All right, going into metric capacity, we have the milliliter, which is about what an eyedropper can hold. We have the liter. So if you think of a liter of, I'm trying to think, like 1 liter is about kind of like the water bottle kind of image that we had. If you have like one of those bigger bottles of soda, that would be like a 2 liter bottle of soda. So 1 liter would be like half of that. We also know that 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. And that's it. All right. So I wanted to go through that because I just really feel like the posters give you an idea of some common household objects, and it's really good in measurement to be hands-on if you can be. So I challenge you to go around your house, see what units you would measure different things in. All right, so today we are going to, after I get done talking to you today, you are going to take a quizzes challenge to see what you know about measurement. It doesn't count as a grade. It's just kind of to get you in the measurement mindset. But I am going to look at your grades, and I'm going to look at how you do on it. I don't know. Maybe I will count it as a grade. Probably not, though. And to get to the quizzes, you're going to click this purple link right here. Okay, you may have noticed I also sent you something to like sign up for my class on quizzes. You can do that. I'm just learning how to use this for the first time. So if there are some problems, Forgive me. And then, okay, this is the fun part. You probably won't like this. You are going to be cutting out your purple word cards. And so I'm going to just switch over here to my ImageMate. All right, so you have in your book, in your workbook, they start on page, I'm going to zoom in, 673. And there are 3 different pages of word cards of vocabulary for this topic. I mean, this topic has a lot of vocabulary. You have to today tear out these pages, take a scissor, okay, cut them up. And I actually want you to write on the backs of each of them, okay? And at the end of this topic, you're going to have to show me everything that you did in the topic. So I'm going to be able to see your word cards. I'll be able to see all your guided notes. So make sure that you're doing that. So you're going to write on the back of each of them. And these are going to be very handy. And so don't lose them. Put them somewhere safe. Put them in like a little Ziploc bag. Wherever you can do to keep them is going to be helpful. Why? Because when you go to take your vocabulary test or quiz, wouldn't it be great if you had these to look at? I mean, I know that's kind of like cheating, but I'm not at home with you. So if you need to reference something to help you do better on a test or a quiz, please feel free to do so. All right. All right. So it is going to be really important to have all of these and to keep them. Make sure you keep them. Make sure they're written on the back. All right. After you do the word cards, you are going to study them all week long because we're going to have a vocab quiz next Monday on all of these words. So please make sure, and it's going to count as a grade. So make sure that you're studying them and have them easily accessible. All right, finally today, you are going to go on to Quizlet and do these activities. So Quizlet and Quizzes sounds very similar, but Quizzes is like kind of like a game link. And then Quizlet is a way to study your vocabulary words. So there's 2 things that you have to do on Quizlet, and then the rest are optional. So I want you to do the learn and the write. Okay, there are 2 activities. If I click on it, let's see, it might log me in as a teacher, so I don't know if this is actually going to work. Oh no, it will. Okay, so over here, there's flashcards. You can do them first if you want, but the learn and the write are the 2 things that you have to do. Okay, there's also a spell. There's also a test if you want to. This is not where we're going to take our test, but if you wanted to see how you would do if there was a test, you could try that. Then there's 2 games that are things that we're going to be doing, match and gravity. So you don't have to play these games, but if you would like to try to be one of our top winners, I am going to announce the winners sometime next week. Okay, and then that's it. And that is what you're going to do today. Now, if you're still with me, I want to show you something that I think I'm going to do on my video. My live lesson as well. I want to make something that's going to help you. So pause this video, go get a piece of paper, get some markers, some colorful markers, and join me in making a helpful measurement reference sheet. All right, so I am going to, I need to kind of turn my thing a little bit so I can write sideways. Okay, so you might want to title it, My Customary Measurement Sheet. Okay. And the first thing I want to talk about is a little memory trick to help remind you with customary measurement what you need to do for your conversions. So I like to think of it as BSM. And then I also want you to write LSM in parentheses. And what does that stand for? That stands for, B stands for big, S stands for smelly, and M stands for monkeys. Big, smelly monkeys. Now, really what it stands for is if you're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, you are going to multiply. So we can remember that. Big, smelly monkeys. Big to small, multiply. Okay. Some people, instead of saying big, they use the word large. And I kind of go back and forth. So I also want you to kind of think of an acronym for LSM, large to small, multiply. So you could do, and maybe you guys can come up with something better. You could do large smelly monkeys. I guess you could do that. I've also heard the one love some money, right? Or you could do large smelly monkeys, right? That stands for large to small, multiply. Okay. So, big smelly monkeys, love some money, just an acronym to help you remember what to do. All right, so if we're going from big to small units, we're going to multiply. But what happens if we're going to go from small to big? So I have another acronym for you. Small to big, you are going to divide. And some people say SLD, small to large divide. So if we're doing small to big divide, one way to remember that is to picture in your head small babies dancing. Just picture it, right? Small babies dancing. And that stands for smaller units to a bigger unit. You are going to divide. SLD, you can do small ladies dancing. Instead of babies, it could be ladies. I've also heard strawberries look delicious. Okay, so I'm going to do both. Small ladies dancing. That's a good visual, right? You could kind of see it. Or, let's see, strawberries look delicious. And maybe you guys can come up with something that resonates with you even better. Okay, and that would stand for small to large divide. All right, so that's my little memory aid for you guys. I hope that you can come up with something that is going to be helpful to you. Big smelly monkeys, small babies dancing, and just say it over and over. Have this sheet if you were able to copy it down, have it out every single time that we're doing work this week. It is going to be a tremendous help to you. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching from end. If you're seeing the end, I applaud you. I am going to tell you a mystery word. What's my mystery word? My mystery word is going to be monkey. And if you can tell me in the comments the mystery word, at the on Monday when you're after you watch this video, I'll be very proud of you because I'll know that you watched the end of the video all the way to the end. Good job.